This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/RebelScumPodcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You are always scum. Rebel scum.
James, have you witnessed the new Star Wars meme?
Oh my gosh, have I ever?
I learned today it's called the right meme, like right ? Meme, and that's if you're on Instagram, you've probably seen it. If your Star Wars is in your algorithm, it's Anakin talking to Padme on Naboo in that field, and they keep changing where it's like he looks at her, says something, he's like, "You're kidding, right?" And then there's the third block is always empty, and she's like, "Right?" Apparently, that's what it's called. It's called the right meme. What do you think of this?
I saw a tweet earlier today, so we record this early, but I saw a tweet and someone said, "Let me know when that Star Wars meme is off so I'm safe to come back on Twitter again." And then someone replied with the meme making fun of the meme and that answer. I think it's funny. The first time I was like, well, is this old? Because it's Attack of the Clones. You know, it's like 18 years old, 19 years old. It's like, okay, so this is old. Oh, this is new and it's catching on now. And for me, you know, the prequels were hated for so long. And then the memes kind of brought them to the forefront and people seem to love them for the memes. So if that's what's going to keep the prequels in everyone's mind, then so be it. I'm here for it. I find it funny. It's harmless, whatever.
Yeah. It's like I like this one. I'm gonna have a huge birthday bash. After you get vaccinated, nothing. After you get vaccinated. Yeah, like I have been seeing it a lot, but it's funny how you don't really clock some kind of trend until someone points it out to you. So I was just like, yeah. So I discovered there's like an article in the Mary Sue about it. Not saying much. It's just like it's called the right meme.
The right meme. I didn't know memes had a name. I thought people just made them. I started seeing it. I think last week. I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. Yeah. Oh, look at it. It's coming back, and it's there again." And everybody did. And there's some really, really funny ones, some inappropriate ones, but a lot of really funny ones. Have you seen? Speaking of online content, have you seen the leaked images from Obi Wan Kenobi?
Yes, sadly. Oh, like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. The first time I saw it was on an Instagram feed I follow called Star Wars Photoshop, where it's him wearing that black thing over top.
Yeah.
he photoshopped Big Bird's legs over top, which is like, really all we're seeing is like, look, he has pants and boots.
Yeah, but there's some other characters that you see, and some of them is like, But there was somebody posted, I can't remember who it was on Twitter. Somebody posted, they're going, like putting out all the stops or something. And they photoshopped the garbage bag on Dexter Jetster. Like, oh, this is the best one ever. That one was awesome. That's what I want to talk about, speaking of memes, because that made me laugh. I'm conflicted on these Obi-Wan stuff, because like you said, they don't show anything. Like, yeah, he's wearing, the Jedi garb underneath me. So, but there's that one Game of Thrones actress they kind of revealed an aspect of her character because they cut her going out. And I'm not trying to find this stuff. It's just everywhere. You can't block it. You can block keywords, but they're just posting them for whatever the fun of it. So I think that I'm fine with waiting till the show comes out to see all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is, and this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
So be it. I'm very, very excited for. As long as it doesn't come out in spring, summer next year, I'm fine, because I've learned, Brock, that I'm 2 weeks now behind Bad Batch. My mic is mad at me. I still haven't seen Loki or Winter Soldiers, so I'm kind of like, who am I? is really where I am. And Bad Batch is like, and Bad Batch, I'm actually like, oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing where it's going. And I sit down to watch, and I'm like, I want to go outside. It's weird. But even the Euro Cup's on right now, and I brought a TV outside to watch the match that I was watching because I still wanted to be outside. So maybe I'll watch Bad Batch outside. We'll see.
Oh, snap. New development every episode on Rebel Scum Podcast. I'm Brock. This is
James, the guy who doesn't watch anything that's called Star Wars on TV.
episode 221. And you think by now we would realize that, like, when we record this, we don't hear it, but there's an opening where Erin, your wife, says, here's Brock and James. And I'm like, we're like, yeah, we still got to introduce her. So.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That's like, yeah. No, that's a live opening every week she does.
Yeah. Pretty much the last 100 episodes, I feel.
When did she?
No,
she
maybe.
did one before, a different opening before. I did. Remember when I did one like in the early days? When I was like, "Here's Bulger," and then Darth Ward was like, "Why are you saying your own names?" I'm like, "Who else is gonna say it?" Those openings were fun, but they took a lot of time.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife's listening to a podcast right now. Not us. It's not us.
It's
definitely true crime. It's probably the most disturbing thing you've ever heard.
How I Murdered My Favorite Murderer.
Yeah, that's usually what. And then she's like, I can't sleep at night. I'm like, have you heard the stuff you listen to? Like, no one could sleep at night after that. It's devastating. I'm like, put on Sesame Street. Let's call it a night. I watched Triple Frontier. Have you seen Triple Frontier with Ben Affleck? It's a Netflix movie from a year ago. It's like a year old now. It stars Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam.
Really?
Another guy I can't remember, and the Mandalorian himself, Pedro Pascal, and your favorite, Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac. Yeah, it's Oscar Isaac's.
Yeah.
It's a year old. It's old, but we were trying to watch a movie, and it always takes like forever. And Aaron's always like, "I want to watch a war movie," and I was like, "Well, here we go. It's not a war movie. I found that out quick. I thought it was, but it's not. It was." You know what? It's basically Army of the Dead without zombies. It's
like how does a movie with this kind of cast
Netflix
just disappear?
Netflix.
Okay.
This is what Martin Scorsese was talking about with the algorithm stuff, and everyone wants to bash him because he's old, but he's dead on. It's all they're doing is they're saying, what are people watching, and they're grabbing their algorithm and they're saying, or their analytics and all that, and they're grabbing Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, right, right, Ben Affleck. They grab those actors and they put them in these movies, and they're like, what do people want to watch? Action movies. So they're fun, but they're very much just throwaway movies. So they come out in March, and you'll never hear about it again, but it'll always be on Netflix, and somebody like I just did will always go to watch it because Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Pedro Pascal, Charlie Hunnam, those actors are going to make you go there, and that's what this is all. Mm-hmm. And he's dead on because I don't think it's killing movies, but it kills a lot of the ways movies are made because they're just formulaic now, and they're like, and I don't mean formula. Well, I mean yes and no, but in that this is designed specifically for these people that are watching these Netflix movies, like Extraction, like all these movies you watch, and you're like, there's a specific. You can see it. Like in Extraction, David Harbour shows up. That's because people are watching it on Stranger. Like you could just see it now. Yeah. And I told you I watched that movie on Prime last year, and I thought it would be good, but it was all. I'm like, oh, they're doing that because of like you just feel. I don't know. Yeah. You can start to feel it now in movies. But Triple Frontier, as much as it was that 100%, it's a fun little watch.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it was exactly. Because it was exactly what I kind of expected. Just a fun little. Yeah. All right, that was good.
I feel like if that movie was made like 20 years ago, that's where they'd put Steven Seagal or like Dolph Lundgren in, and it's like, yeah, that was a movie. But now it's like that cast is pretty solid. So it's like, well, this weird movie that probably won't do well in theaters, well, it might do okay in Netflix. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's how it is, and it hits all their buttons that they need to be successful. So I don't know how well it did or anything, but you know, But it was cool because it was Poe Dameron and the Mandalorian were Din Djarin were. Hey, Pedro Pascal is to me like he was in Game of Thrones, but then he couldn't be in the first few episodes of the first episode of Mandalorian because he was doing Wonder Woman 2. Yeah. So he was cast in Wonder Woman 2 before Mandalorian. Who is his agent? Because he also would have done this movie probably before Mandalorian as well. I'm just like, who is your? Because he's just like exploded in this year now, right? Like just like exploded, like
yeah. Because he was in like Game of Thrones was his big thing, and then he was on like the first 3 or 4 seasons of Narcos, which is that was another success.
Netflix.
And,
there you go. Yeah.
And then he was in the second Kingsman, which wasn't a successful.
Still a big get though for him.
Well, yeah, exactly. That was a huge movie. And then Mandalorian. So it's like it is weird. Like it's like Hollywood just like I'm going to take this person.
I always found they did that. They did that with like Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
I think Miles Teller they were trying. What's that other guy? What's that other guy from Girl Next Door? Emil Hirsch. They were doing that with Emil Hirsch.
Yeah. Oh,
they grab like actors and like this is the next star. And sometimes Colin Farrell and sometimes there's an Emil Hirsch who just never like maybe he's taking, but he just never really got there. But that's how it's like And then there's like Chris Hemsworth who's like I'm playing what's his Kirk's father with no lines and gonna die right away, and then like he's Thor, and you're like, what the hell just happened here?
Yeah.
So.
But
Star Wars.
you never know what it is because it's like a lot of like the ones that start in the indie movies, like not the small indie movies, but like the decent ones that the art films and like, but they do they do a whole bunch of projects all at once, so that it's like you just keep hearing their name and whatever. So it's like by the time they get that huge project, like the third thing they've been in has come out, and there's a whole slew of other things coming up.
Well, I mean, look at Pedro Pascal, right? He did Wonder Woman 2 before Mandalorian 1, and because of COVID, it came out after, like during Mandalorian 2, but it would have come out just before this. Like it's, things take time. Different movies take time, and
could you imagine if he did Wonder Woman? If Wonder Woman 84 came out before Mandalorian, like, I guess it wouldn't matter because you don't really see his face, so you're like. But like people, I think were generally excited when they heard he was cast. To the point that I have always said, it's like, oh, they shouldn't have told us who it was. So like, at least when they take that helmet off, you're like, it's that guy.
See, I had never seen any of the stuff that he was in. Like, So I mean, I saw his face from Celebration and before that and whatnot, but I never watched the Game of Thrones. I never saw Narcos.
You know what it is? It's all fueled on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Because like I've heard stories that like agencies would have like books of like who we want to work with, and it's like every single person that was in the cast of Game of Thrones was like, we want them on our project, because it's just like Game of Thrones was just so huge.
Absolutely makes complete sense. Like half the Eternals are from Game of Thrones, aren't they? 2 of them.
Well, 2 of them.
One of them. So I never saw Game of Thrones, but he was on like a British show, and I saw the British show. I was watching the British show. I'm like, this guy's a good actor. Which one?
Yeah. Are you talking about The Bodyguard?
Yeah. And I was like, he's a good actor. He should be in stuff. I didn't know he was in Game of Thrones. And now he's in the Eternals. Is he American in the Eternals, or is he going to keep his accent? He should probably keep his accent.
No, I think in the one trailer he talks, and I think he has the accent.
Yeah, I can't remember. I saw the trailer. The trailer was pretty good. I thought it was like, oh look, it's finally a Marvel movie that has cinematography in it. That's right.
Yeah, it's just sort of it treads the grounds of Guardians of the Galaxy. He's not gonna be quirky like that for sure, but like you're like, wow.
So I think I told you with Shang-Chi, I always these properties that I'm not familiar with, I compare them to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and none of them have lived up to that trailer at all.
No.
I thought Eternals trailer was fine. I thought it was better than the Shang-Chi trailer, but it wasn't mind blowing. But it did get me to go, okay, well, what's this about? The Avengers line at the end, it turned me. That's what like turned me off. I'm like, I don't care. I thought, who's going to lead the Avengers? Why do you care? You guys are supposed to be like these all powerful. Why? Who cares?
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't need that, but I understand that's what fans were like ripping their shirts off when they hear that. But I thought it looked cool. The first before like any words came on the screen, like the very opening really had me, really had me, and then it went into like whatever. But it was, I thought the special effects of that ship triangle thing coming out of the clouds, I was like, that looks rad. Because it was like watching like a Charleston Heston movie with a spaceship coming out. I'm like, I would watch that. So I was down with that. We still don't know what Rogue Squadron's about. Are they even making Taika? Can we talk about Taika Waititi for a second?
Yeah.
The hell, man. And I was like, well, maybe next, but I have a lot of other things. I just wish they would stop announcing crap. Hire him. You can hire him, but don't tell me. I'm done. Like I said, I don't want to know. Because he's like, I hope it's next, but so do you have an idea? Do you even have an idea of what you want to do, or do they just hire you because they need to hire you? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Taika Waititi just like screwing with people. Like,
yes,
like I think he's fully aware of what the media is like, and also he's like known for his sense of humor. Like that's his thing. Like, and if look, he doesn't direct, fine, whatever. Like it's not even news. Like we say it over and over again. Till there's a trailer, then it's not real. Like Feige, Ryan Johnson, what's her face? Who's doing Rogue Squadron? Patty Jenkins. Until we see something, and I know we saw something with Patty Jenkins,
but not really. It was her walking down a runway. Yeah,
you can shoot whatever you want in an empty airport. Like, until we see a trailer, it is not real. Let's be real about it. Even though we're getting casting for Obi Wan, until we see a trailer, and then we know they're shooting stuff, it's like it is not real till it happens.
Yeah, it's true. Andor, I'm like, I don't really believe it. But the Patty Jenkins, look, the Patty Jenkins, we talked about this a little while ago, and I actually didn't mind Wonder Woman 2. I understand, like, the Chris Pine stuff was weird. I don't know why he just didn't appear. It was weird, but I could see past that because I also don't care. It's fiction. So that, like, she has a lasso of truth. Let's get over that stuff. But it's reminded me a lot of Colin Trevorrow when he got from episode 9, because he had that Book of Henry movie, which I've never seen, but it like tanked and everybody hated it. And then I remember sitting in the theater for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I like the Jurassic Park books. The first book is one of my favorite books, and the movie never lived up to it. I don't care what you say, and I'll fight you on that. But over time, I've grown to appreciate the movie. I like the movie for what it is. But when I was a 12-year-old, I couldn't stand it. But like, so I go see these movies. I always have fun watching them. But Jurassic Park World 2, Fallen Kingdom, whatever it's called, I saw it it was our birthdays. We saw Solo. Then that night I went to go see this. It is really not a good movie. Like, it's just, have you seen it yet?
Which movie?
Jurassic World 2. The second.
No, I was like, I should probably watch that.
Yeah, watch it, because I want you to talk to me about it. It's bad. Like, it's like it makes all these choices that make. I think that's why I can get past the Chris Pine choice, because it makes all those choices. It makes that choice look good. Like, everything they do, you're like, what is happening here? Like, it's almost like they were trying to go Fast and Furious and be like, it's not really about dinosaurs. You're like, it's weird. Like, it just gets really weird. And so anyway, so what I'm saying is the Wonder Woman, the Patty Jenkins hiring I was watching Wonder Woman 2. I'm like, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, I wonder if they're going to still want her after this. Because there's a lot of weird choices in that movie. And like I said, I can get past a lot. Like I can get past it because it's fiction. It's not real, so I don't really care, right? I have no emotional connection to anyone. I don't really care. Like, the flying jet doesn't make sense, but she has an invisible jet, so I don't really care. But but when you look at it, you're like, there's a lot of really weird choices in this movie. And it, whether it was because of COVID, the delays, but it wasn't received well at the end of the day. And it's just like, man, what are their trust levels at now? Because we said this with Book of Henry with that won't affect it, and then all of a sudden now apparently he's difficult to work with or whatever, but still he got let go after a bad movie came out, and Wonder Woman. The only thing with Wonder Woman is the third one was greenlit because it did so well on HBO Max. So there's that saving grace, I suppose. And I think Fallen Kingdom did really well also, the Jurassic World movie. Even though you gotta watch it. It's just wild. You're just like, what is happening? Like, literally, like you're like, oh, dinosaurs, a volcano. Okay, we'll go with it, I guess. There's been a volcano the entire time that's just not going. You're like, fine. It does have the saddest death in movie history halfway through it.
Nice.
It's not a human death, but it's had the saddest. And then it just turns into like this other beast, and you're like, what is happening? And then at the end of the movie, I was just like, maybe the Trevorrow thing, maybe they got this one right. That was kind of like my first thought. I was like, maybe they got this one right because it's a weird movie, Brock. I thought in World when they made that clone dinosaur, not the clones, they're all clone, that like combo dino that they make, the hybrid.
Yeah.
I thought that was going a little bit too far. Like, they're dinosaurs. You don't have to make monsters now. They're already monsters. This one like is like, what if we punch that to 11? You're like, what? Like, it's just like, they kind of went off the rails. And Star Wars doesn't have rails.
That's true. It's right. Yeah, I don't know, man. It is weird. What is Patty? I know I've said this on the episode before or this show before. What is Patty Jenkins known for? Like, what movie?
Oh, we looked at it, and it was like, I thought it was, she came from the Game of Thrones school as well, but she did not.
It was like, didn't she do TV that was a big deal or something like that? But like Wonder Woman is like really her claim to fame.
I know she was very. Oh, I put in Patty Jennings. Oh, I already knew. It knew that I spelled it wrong. Rogue Squadron's their upcoming movie. Where did Patty Jenkins go? Oh, she's on Ask Google. Apparently, she answered Google questions. Patty Jenkins. Here we go. Her birthday is July 24th, 1971. Happy upcoming birthday, Patty Jenkins. Oh, she did Monster.
Oh, right. Okay. Which there's another movie coming out called Monster.
Yeah.
That's about what's his face? Oh God. Oh, what's it? I can't even think of what his name is. Quicksilver is playing him. Not Ted Bundy. Or maybe it's Ted Bundy. I don't know. One of those guys. One of those killers. It's called Monster. I'm like, there's already a movie called Monster.
It's weird.
And Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. Like, come up with a new name.
So she did she directed episodes of Entourage and Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And The Killing. Right. And a bunch of stuff. So like, I'm fine. I'm still fine with her doing worse because I said, I actually enjoyed Wonder Woman. I thought she handled the action very well. Aaron got a little annoyed with the slow motion at times, but I thought, like, I was watching, I really appreciated the way she directed the action because I find with action nowadays there's this huge cop out to just be like, just do this with the camera, and you're like, I don't know what I just saw, but I'm sure it was great. And I was so happy that she was like, we have a tripod or a steady cam, and there's a dolly over here. I was appreciative of that. I thought she handled it very well. I thought she did both movies very well, Wonder Woman movies. So I'm still fine with the Rogue Squadron. I just, when it comes to Star Wars, the problem is you make a weird choice, and all of a sudden Luke and Leia are brother and sister.
Absolutely.
It's like, if the internet was around 40 years ago. George Lucas ruined my childhood. You weren't a kid 4 years ago, Bob.
You shouldn't kiss your siblings, right? Right?
Our grandson's not going to fall in love with a Palpatine, right?
Right? We can trust Chief Palpatine, right? Right? Man. What else? Yeah, you know what? I know you haven't watched Bad Batch, and
I really want to.
the last episode twice.
Was that with Rex?
But
Was Rex
I
in
don't
that
know.
one?
It's starting to fizzle. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, it's fizzling.
It's a cool episode, but I couldn't even like really tell you the entire plot. But there, like, I know I could tell you the main thing that happens, but I just like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to stop watching it at 6 a.m. when I wake up on Fridays. I don't know. But I rewatched it and maybe I fell asleep again too. I don't know. It's fine, but it's like the series is probably actually. Let's find out how many episodes.
It goes at 16. It goes until August.
16. Okay, now I understand why it's slogging, but it's just like.
But why make 16 episodes if you're going to slog?
I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe when it's all said and done, it'll like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Like,
I can't comment because I haven't seen it. So, write your letters to Brock Smee, care of Rebel Scum.
Right, care of Rebel Scumbags at gmail.com.
I will watch it. I will be caught up hopefully by the next podcast we do. That's a lie. I won't be.
I don't know, man. It's just like
I'm really
it's
bad.
great to have Star Wars stuff, but like it's just sort of like that's fun. But I don't know. Is it Filoni's usual where it's like episode, filler episode. I don't know. It seems maybe the next episode will make this make more sense. But like they're focusing so much on these like chips in their heads. And it's like now we're maybe we should take it out. I'm like, yeah, no way, of course. Like you knew, like outside of like what's happening to Wrecker in these episodes, spoilers. But like outside of that, they knew they had chips in their head from like episode 2. So it's like, well, at what point do you not say, we were fine? It's like, are you sure you're fine? Because like you're still clones, regardless of who you are. And you see it happening to your friend Crosshair, who is now evil. Like, at what point do you not question, like, maybe we should take the chips out? So it's like, perhaps in the next episode, they're like, I think they take them out at the end of this one. I can't remember. Who is it they talk to that takes it out?
Rex?
Right. Rex, yeah.
I saw.
That's the point. Rex is in this episode, and I completely forgot he's in this episode.
See, if you were on social media, you would know because the minute it airs, everyone's like,
"Oh yeah."
There's your spoilers." I haven't seen Loki, and I don't think I'm going to because I've seen I already know. Like it's like the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know what happens now. Like there's no point to watching anything because Twitter will let you know. Bam, 3:01 Wednesday morning. Loki was the script was basically put on social media. Yeah. It's like here's everything that happened in today's episode of Loki. Although I've heard Loki and Owen Wilson have a good rapport together, which doesn't surprise me because Owen Wilson is he's good with everybody.
Oh wow! Wow! Oh, you know Odin? Wow!
Yo, Wedding Crashers 2 is happening, and I will say, not a minute too late.
Why?
HBO Max wants content. It's brilliant. If streaming was around when
I'm sorry to cut you off, but in HBO Max news, I just saw on the internet that like apparently like the nanny from the back in the day, the show The Nanny with Fran Drescher is on HBO Max, and now everyone's like, "Wow!" It's like what?
Well, it's like Friends.
I don't think it's a reunion thing. It's just re-airing the episodes.
Well,
and like
Friends became super popular again because of Netflix. Yep. It's weird. I don't know. I don't. Whatever. Watch and subscribe. I guess. We don't have HBO Max in this country. We're deprived of it.
It's on Crave.
No, it's not. We don't get their first run movies. We have to wait 6 months.
Oh well, that's different. That's because of COVID.
Well, no, but it's on HBO Max. We don't get HBO Max. I watched Mask of the Phantasm. I shouldn't say that because I haven't watched Batman. I watch old stuff. I'm the guy who's like, have you seen this a million times? Yes, and that's why I'm watching it again. And I'm not ashamed to admit it either. I don't care. I don't watch it.
No, I know. You've spent 221 episodes saying that.
Yeah. I no, but the one thing people don't understand though is the difference is if you watch something for the first time, as you're saying now, you should pay attention to it. Whereas when I've seen something a million times before, I'm like, well, I'm gonna get up and I'll leave and I'll walk around. It'll be on. Then I'll come back. I'll sit down. I'll get up and I'm not fully invested in it because I've seen it so many times. But when I watch something for the first time, I'm like, I need this, 30 minutes or whatever it is to sit and actually pay attention to it. And this time of the year, it's really difficult for me to do that. I don't care. That's why shows go into hiatus in the summer. The only thing that are on are Bachelor in Paradise and stuff because people, I want to be outside playing basketball and bocce. Basketball was a good movie. Have you seen Basketball?
Oh, absolutely.
It's such a good movie. I remember renting that when I was younger. I was like, this is a great movie. Made $0. Great movie.
The guys from South Park.
Yeah, they shot it apparently before South Park was a thing. And came out after because they were famous.
Yeah. Oh, God. What was that other movie they did way before? It was like...
Hannibal the Cannibal?
No, that was the musical they made before. Yeah. There was one about the Mormon guy that gets into porn. Oh, man. Anyways, doesn't matter. But that was like a movie that came out, wasn't a big deal, and then they made South Park and became huge, and all of a sudden...
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that one, though.
It's pretty fun. I mean, it's if you like South Park, you'll like this to the same extent. It's no different from like a Kevin Smith movie. Yeah.
My favorite was when Basketball came out and they did all the talk show rounds. They're like, we didn't write this movie. It was like they were like trying to separate themselves so much from it as possible. We didn't write this movie. We didn't write it. I think the Airplane guys wrote that movie, Basketball. I liked it. I don't care. I haven't seen it in forever, so it probably doesn't hold up at all. But I would. I don't even think it held up then. I think I just really liked it because I was a kid and whatever. I wasn't even a kid. I was like 19. I was probably drunk. This Mike's Hard Lemonade is great.
Orgasmo, that's what it was called.
That
probably has not aged well, for sure.
I'm sure most of their stuff hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
South Park probably got funnier though because you're like, they got away with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many things. It's amazing though. I mean, I think people have pointed this out. It's like Friends had this resurgence with like millennials on Netflix. Yeah. But then like when you really watch like all the episodes, there's a lot of like homophobic jokes throughout the entire series.
Is there?
Because like Chandler's dad is trans. It's like played by, oh God, who is that actress with the deep, deep voice? But you never see him as a man. It's just as a woman. And there's so many jokes about it. It's just like, ooh, it's like it's not far enough away to be like, oh, that was just the times, but like, so it's awkward. I haven't rewatched Friends because like I've watched the show.
Fun fact about Friends, you'll never believe this. I've only ever seen the first season, and I believe half the series finale. And you know what I said? I stopped watching.
With you and watching like the first episode and the last episode.
The first episode came on, and my dad said, I think I was in the 8th grade at the time. My dad said, "This will never last." I didn't change the channel. So then I watched it, and I was like into the first season. I bought the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I remember they did the Super Bowl episode, I believe, with Van Damme that year. Yeah, and I remember and there was some point towards the end, I said, I was walking to school with my friend. Was that grade 8 or was I in grade? Yeah, it would have been grade 8 or grade 9, whatever I was in. And I'm walking to school with my friend, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to watch it anymore. He's like, why? I said, I'll tell you what, I will watch, I swear to you, this is what I said. I said, I will watch the show again when Monica and Chandler get together. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, they're going to get together. I'm like, I don't even want to watch it. And I didn't watch it. And then I found out years later that they got together. And I was like, I lost touch with that guy because it was, we were like 12, 13 or whatever, 14. And now they got together when I was like 20. But that was my thing. But I just stopped. I was just like, I don't like it anymore because it was like, I'm like, they're going to get together. I don't want to watch it. And I just stopped watching it. I don't even know if I watched the season 1 finale. I just like at one point I'm like I'm done, and I just stopped. And I like really liked it until that moment when I was like, it felt like everyone was kind of made like because it was like Ross and Rachel. So then it was like Monica and Chandler going to get together, and then it was Phoebe and Joey, and I was like, they're not going to get together, but they're the same person. And I was just kind of I was just kind of like, I'm done. And then the Joey spinoff, I was like, I'll watch that, and I watched the first episode, and I said, I was like, that guy's from Brampton, and I still don't want to watch it. Paul Cosentino? Is that Paul? No, Paul Costanzo. He's whatever his name is. He's from Brampton. Road trip. Yeah, did not get along with Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips did Road Trip? Of course he did.
Yeah. That was
Wow. You go from Road Trip to Joker.
Well, he got Joker because of Hangover and Road Trip and all those movies being so successful. You know, it's how you whatever. I mean, it was also a 20-year difference between the two. Yeah. He's probably a different person now. It's like, I'm gonna make a movie about a comedian. But
I'm gonna take this villain and show you why he's so evil. And you're like, but he's also gonna be kind of human. It's like,
it's weird that like they have Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, and then Joker, and they're both kind of about them, and they're so vastly different.
Yeah.
It's just wild. But apparently, Birds of Prey got like hardcore taken away from the director and like changed by Warner Brothers and stuff, and. Seems to be Warner Brothers' MO with these properties. They're like, we want it to be like this.
Yeah.
And look,
once again, DC's animated versions of all these characters are always infinitely better than the actual movies they create. It makes no sense. And
I bet there's probably less studio interference. It's I don't know. It's always amazing to me because I like the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Sure.
But it's way too long to be a theatrical movie.
But it's a 4-hour movie.
It's way too long to be a theatrical. It's just way too long. But the thing is, they greenlit a 4-hour movie. That's what I'm still like. I'm like, you knew what it was going to be when you said yes to it. Before Batman and Superman got bad reviews, you knew it was going to be a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
And then you watch Army of the Dead and there's people have a lot of problems with it. People like it, whatever. But it's like the thing that I appreciate the most about that movie, without my opinion of it, is that is Zack Snyder's film. Like that's his vision. He said he wasn't really interfered with. And I think there's something to be said with that. I think it's always good to have notes. I think notes are great from people because it's a creative process, it's a collaborative process. And sometimes, I said this about Wonder Woman 1. Remember? We go back, roll the tape. It might have been on Den of Nerds, actually. And I said, my fear for Wonder Woman 2 is that Zack Snyder's not there to like weigh it down a little bit. I said that years ago. Because the thing is, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. It was written by that one person, James Gunn. Sometimes that weight, right? It kind of levels you out just a little tiny bit. But I think, with the studio stuff is whatever, and then they own it. I get it. But also, I think the filmmakers need a little bit more freedom in what they're doing to give them the chance to do it. Like, I watched this documentary on Batman Returns, and Tom Burton, he's Tim's brother. Tim Burton didn't want to come back to do it, and he said, and Warner Brothers said, "We'll just make a Tim Burton movie." Can you imagine if they did that today with somebody? Never happened.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about anything anymore. Sorry, I'm just sending a picture.
No, it's just you hire someone to make the movie. Patty Jenkins doing Rogue Squadron. I'm curious to see what's going to come of it. I'm really curious what's going to come of Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, they got to start. Listen to us. This is like we're like internet trolls. They got to start putting some stuff out. I'm like, Star Wars can do whatever they want. I mean, we got to get an Andor trailer soon because it looked like they were far into the production, and then probably an Obi Wan by the end of the year, if not January. And then, of course, like we're getting Boba Fett at the end of the year. So
My guess is we get Boba Fett and or Obi-Wan in that order.
Yeah.
Unless they pull a fast one on us. They haven't started that yet. I think the rumor is they start in July or something. So that would be. I mean, as much as I want the Mandalorian, we're getting the Boba Fett show, which kind of will act as like a, an interim show for it. It's not the same, but it's definitely a spin-off. Whereas Andor and Obi-Wan have, from what we know, it has nothing to do with the Mandalorian. They might be all about the Mandalorian, but from the outside looking in, it looks like they're not connected. So at least Boba Fett has that connective tissue to the show that we can look forward to. And hopefully it's not the Joey of Star Wars spin-offs.
Joey of Star Wars.
Bro, you want to go to the odds?
Let's do it.
Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Never Tell Me the Odds, brought to you and me and James by our wonderful patrons from patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do, head on over to the patreon.com and check out our Patreon page and support us if you like. No pressure. You can do whatever you want. It's 2021, I think. And if you support us, you become one of these allotted few that we scream from the mountaintops in our adoration. Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Stanifor, Sooner Thrawn, Scott D, Josh Price, Matt W,
Rez, Frank Perkins, Neil, Lowry, D, Raven, Spencer, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Aaron Quinton, Denna Nerds, Girl with Sabers, and Patty Jenkins.
What?
Not that Patty Jenkins. Could you imagine? Patty Jenkins like, I like what you had to say. I like that you understood Chris Pine. Thank you so much to our Patreon, though. You guys mean a great deal to us. You'll never know. Our first odd, the odds that Obi Wan Kenobi will meet Kidster on Tatooine. Will Obi Wan Kenobi meet Kidster on Tatooine? 100%, bro. Do it. You know you want to do it. You know you want to do it.
Because it's like he doesn't even have to recognize him. I don't know if even they interact. Like, I feel like those characters interacted more with Qui-Gon. He just had to like, what's your name? Oh, it's Kidster. And then he just walks off and you're like, whoa. And no one else will be like shocked. Or did you make it even more like obtuse? Like, it's like, oh, go talk to Kidster. And he just walks over and then they have a conversation and he leaves. And they're like, boom.
35%.
What if, what if Obi-Wan goes to that village that Cobb Vanth is in? Because isn't it like, oh no, wait, that's at the end of, that's in Return of the Jedi where it all falls apart. Shoot, I was gonna be like, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe you can still go to that place. You can go to that place, but it's thriving. What? There's no Cobb Vanth, of course. I don't think. That'd be kind of cool. Sorry, what are we talking about?
I'm gonna go 35% that Kidster will be that everyone will meet Kidster.
Sorry.
You're right. They didn't know each other, but who cares? I want to see it happen, but I don't think it will.
Absolutely.
Our next odd, Saw Gerrera apparently will be showing up in the Cassian Andor show. So our odd is the odds of Saw Gerrera getting a comic series. Will we get? How has it not already happened? Is my question.
Yeah, especially after like they had those like Age of the Republic, Age of the Rebellion, Age of the Resistance, like,
Age of the Gerrera
Nation. I'm gonna go 70%. At the very least, like maybe like a one shot sort of thing.
Yeah, one shot. I'm gonna go 73% because you seem to be obsessing over them. Bring it. Yeah. One shot. It'd be like, this is how we went psychotic. And our final odd is from executive producer Heidi Feder. She read that the Obi Wan Kenobi series takes place 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. while Solo took place 10 years after the Battle of Yavin. Since both happened around the same time, and since Han and Chewie... Before the Battle of Yavin. Before. So I read... She didn't actually write that. I was paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And I said it wrong. So she knows and I don't. She should be hosting this. Before the Battle of Yavin, she actually put BBY, which is before Battle of Yavin, and I still said... Look, I can't read. And so Han and Chewie will be on Tatooine at that time. What are the chances that their paths will cross? She's guessing that we would be more likely to see an interaction with Chewie, especially since it sort of seemed that old Ben already knew Chewie. But who knows? Maybe we can get Alden Ehrenreich to reprise the role. Reprise?
Reprise. That's like a salad. Reprise. It's cheese and tomatoes. I like that idea, but yeah, like the one tripping block could be that like Han doesn't register who Obi-Wan is, but I'm sure you could get around that some way, because like that would be beautiful. Like Alden Ehrenreich just in like. You could put him in if there was like two storylines going on in this series, but I don't see that happening since it's Obi-Wan. But I don't know. Like we don't know a thing about this show. But I would want that to happen like 95%. But the way this question's asked, I'm gonna go 40%.
Yeah, I'm gonna go low on Han.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go like 12% on Han. But I might go 40 on Chewie.
Yeah.
You know, because Chewie is a good point, and he's a Wookiee, and even if he don't recognize each other, maybe they just don't. Or maybe he's like, I got my eye on you, or who knows? I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, I think they're both unlikely, but they could be, you know, I like the idea of paths crossing all the time when you're in a shared universe. I think it always works, and people are like, it shrinks the universe. No, it's the freaking universe. That's what we're in. You go to a mall, you see people, you see the same people all the time. So I like it, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna be 11 for Han and 40 whatever I said for Chewie. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, like it'd be a good idea, but I just don't know what the story of Obi-Wan is. So it's like, do you risk making it like cheesy that you do it?
Yeah, I don't think
like
Ewan McGregor would be up for cheesy.
Yeah, like how often do you want to do that gag of like, oh look, like they have, I don't know why, but the movie Tombstone not Tombstone, sorry, the movie where Mel Gibson is the gambler and like Jodie Foster's like Maverick. Tombstone. Maverick with what's the guy's name?
James Garner,
thank you. Is that
great movie based on the show starring James Garner?
Exactly. Great movie, but there's a moment in there watching that movie was not for me when I was a kid, but I watched it with my parents. My parents did not like, they were kind of cool parents. They let me just watch any movie.
Have things changed though? Because my dad was like, let's go watch Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom when it first came out, and they're ripping hearts out, and then he's like, he woke me up and goes, come watch Die Hard, when I was like 10.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then he took me to the theater to see Cliffhanger, and the theater was like, you can't watch this. And we're like, what the hell?
My parents let me watch Seinfeld with them when it was coming out. And it's just like, when you think about that, it's like, that's not really for kids. No, all of it was over my head.
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's
really over my head. Outside of like, Kramer is a goof, and that's funny. Like, so many things. But anyways, besides the point, God, where was I going? There's a point in Maverick where they're like running from something, or there's a gunfight and they're running around, and they stop, like Mel Gibson stops and sees this other guy, and it's Danny Glover, and they look at each other and like almost break the fourth wall, where like it's like, oh, it's Lethal Weapon reunion. That's what like a bad Han Solo Chewie dropped into this movie would feel like. You're like, like, if it makes sense, do it. at the same note, like Ahsoka being in Mandalorian and Bo-Katan is a little bit more fleshed out, but the same idea where it's like they did it right, but it's like it treads that point where you're like, ooh, like how weird would it be if they did make the Ahsoka show and like they did that thing? It's like, tell me where General Thrawn or Admiral Thrawn is. It's like, oh, like everyone's like, but then they don't make it. And be like,
Yeah.
what was that?
That's true.
So great question, Heidi.
Yeah, it was a great.
Like, oh man,
did you see the Pedro Pascal Ewan McGregor interview for was it Variety or Vanity Fair that they did?
I saw it on YouTube, but I didn't watch it because
they talk. Ewan McGregor talks about working with stormtroopers on the set, and he's like, it's weird because in the prequels there were no stormtroopers. You forget, like you didn't work with stormtroopers; they were all clones. And he goes, and now I work with them like I'm a kid again. And so then they're both like geeking out about working with stormtroopers. It was. I just watched part of it. It was fun. All right, those are our odds. Let us know what your odds are in the comments down below. And now it's time for Hollow News.
Hollow News.
Hollow News. Da 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 da. Hollow News. Da 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 da. Hollow da 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 da. This song is now available as an MP3 wherever you listen to your fine music. Join us on Spotify, where we open the Joe Rogan podcast with Hollow News. Da, 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 da. Hollow, da, da. All right, anyway, news time, bring it.
Hollow News, the news you need to know right now. Big Bang Theory, ever heard of it? It's a show about scientists living together and being into nerd culture. Quite often, Star Wars is mentioned. And apparently, Jim Parsons revealed a great, huge secret about a joke that could have been Star Wars related that never happened. The Big Bang Theory, as I said, even though they were all over the nerd map, they always looked for opportunities to incorporate Star Wars into their storytelling. However, the show actually walked back on what could have been the best reference. In season 5, episode 21, The Hawking Excitation, Howard forced Sheldon to a French-made outfit to Caltech's cafeteria. This was part of the 12 Labors of Hercules challenge, where he took advantage of his friend's desperation to meet Stephen Hawking, with whom he was working with at the time. Wanting nothing to be introduced to one of his science heroes, Sheldon obliged, which made a lot of laughs. Originally, however, this prank was going to be made much crueler, as the script called for him to don a more revealing costume in Leia's Return of the Jedi iconic gold bikini. Recently, in an interview with Conan O'Brien, Jim Parsons, who plays Sheldon, revealed that he outright said no to the idea. Apparently, he didn't get much lead time when Sheldon is meant to do something a bit embarrassing in the show. Explaining why he was set against sporting the Star Wars outfit, he stated he didn't want to show his midsection, which was unavoidable in Leia's revealing bikini. So the Big Bang Theory writers had to tone it down and rewrite the scene. Instead, the skimpy costume became the French maid's uniform, which still exposed much of the actor's legs, but left his upper body covered up. But despite the change, the scene still delivered in its intended purpose. Is also one of the few times Howard was able to get back at Sheldon for all his years of bullying. So for all you Big Bang Theory fans, you could have seen Sheldon in the Leia bikini. I think smart move. Also, in this got released, I think today, according to the Illuminati. So this could all be hypothetical. Barriss Offee, a Jedi Knight from the prequel era, will return in Ahsoka. Though the character played a major role in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, it will be her first live-action appearance since Nalina Krishan portrayed her in Star Wars: Attack of the Clones. Reports indicate that Lucasfilm will be casting a new actress who's expected to appear as a lead character in the show. They are looking for an Asian woman in her 20s or 30s to play the role. The reason this is a huge reveal is that in Clone Wars, Ahsoka and Barriss have this friendship, but then Barriss betrays Ahsoka. So having her return in the live action show after years of not being gone, it's like, oh, this is very, very, very exciting. So I don't know. It's all hearsay, but that would be a really cool include on this series. But we're far away from getting an Ahsoka show. And in our final story, let's take it back. In these days, there are a few things you can rely on. It's one of the great things about Star Wars. The franchise is always looking for a way to improve the saga, but at the end of the day, a Star Wars project will always deliver that vibe that George Lucas created over 40 years ago. 40 years of happy endings, 40 years of good overcoming evil, 40 years of adventure. Next week will mark 40 years of another great occurrence. Our very own James Razile turns 40, leaving his 30s behind. James, I can't express how exciting it is to work with you on this podcast, to share the same birthday, and to have you as a friend. I don't know what the world has in mind for the next decade of your life, but I know one thing that can get your 40s kicked off in a high gear. James, my friend, my fellow Star Wars fan, the best pizza cook I know, will you do me the honor of being my best man at my wedding this September?
What? Yeah, what? Oh my god, yes? What? I'm gonna... Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes? I want to give you a hug right now.
Did you really think I was like, oh, we gotta put this Big Bang Theory in the news? Yes, this is the big reveal. I am getting married in September to our Rebel Scum podcast friends, and I would not one better got my back, James. You have to be the best man.
I'm yes. Oh my god.
Perfect.
Thank you. Wow. I'm honored. Like touched.
Are you on camera now? Like when this is
yeah.
Did it record your reactions?
Yeah,
perfect.
I think you see my heart like drop. I wish I was wearing a white shirt, then you would see blah, blah. This is a Star Wars top, by the way. It says the dark side on it. Oh wow. Perfect. Thank you. Wow. I'm I'm shook right now. I feel like I'm like...
This is real, folks. This is very real.
I feel like I'm Reham right now. Oh my god. Yes. Wow. Nailed it.
And this has been your Hollow News.
Top 5 bachelor parties.
Tom Hanks, bachelor party. Hangover. 1, 2, 3. Brock's bachelor.
No. What was the one? Was it Clerks 2 where they reference bachelor party a lot?
Possibly. I mean, they have somewhat of a bachelor party at the end of it, but nobody gets married. Or does someone get married in that one? No.
God, I haven't seen it in so long. I'm still shaking.
Yeah.
You have that effect on people. The best is I get my second COVID dose the day before. So
you're gonna be tired.
When you told me the date, I was like, that sounds familiar. And then after we talked,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna switch. That's gonna be changed anyway, but.
the behind the scenes of this podcast is that James has been texting me. He's like, I'm gonna be 40 in a week. I'm old. I'm very old. You're like lamenting. You're like, I'm very old. What is existence? And I'm like, yeah, you old as F.
Yeah. It's funny though, because I never thought, like when I turned 30 it was like whatever, but now I'm 40 and I was talking to Aaron, I'm like, remember when 50 was like grandparents? You're like 50. And now, like, I know people that are 50 and we hang out. It's weird. It's like, it's weird. Anyway, top 5?
Top 5. What is top 5 today, James?
It's like last week's, but I changed Andor to Obi Wan. We need some Star Wars news out here. Top 5 Sheldon dressed as Leia. Top 5 characters / creatures. I changed the creatures to appear in the Obi Wan Kenobi show. It's not that exciting, but my number 5 is not Hondo. Hondo didn't make my list this week. I'm sorry, but Jabba the Hutt did.
You fool! It's always Hondo.
I know. 5. I know, but I wanted Jabba. I need Jabba in there.
It would be like weird if they didn't put Jabba in like he's the easiest villain to drop in this if he truly stays on Tatooine the whole time, right? Like,
Yeah.
at least like how do you spend a possible 5 to 6 or 4 to 6 episodes on Tatooine if that is the case, and not remotely drop Jabba in? I don't know. He's got a Rancor.
Name
He's
Moochie.
got a Rancor. Show him Moochie.
That was the last
Just
episode.
imagine, like, part of like the first or second episode is the PS to that episode of Bad Batch.
It's a live action version of that episode.
Like, oh, we gotta mention this Rancor. I'm like, you don't have to mention anything. We know he's going to be there.
Oh, Moochie. And the thing is, Moochie dies.
Yeah.
Was Jabba your number 5?
Sunrise, sunset. What up?
Did you do number 5? Was yours Jabba?
No, my number 5 was Hondo.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, I think you do have to put Hondo in it, but I don't. I have Ahsoka at number 4. Ahsoka Tano number 4. My feeling now is connect the shows a little bit. Just show I don't know how. I don't even know. To be honest, I don't even know if I actually want Ahsoka in it. But I'm now like, if they're all gonna get shows, let's have some connective tissue to these shows. So Ahsoka. Although the Marvel ones, which I haven't seen, I think they're working without all the connective tissue from all this stuff. So maybe not. Hondo's
your number 4?
No, it's Ahsoka.
No, number 4 is Ahsoka. When you put creatures in it, I was like, oh,
Borg
that
Gullet.
thing he rides on Utapau. It's just like his
Oh,
friend.
Yeah. He goes back to visit him.
Is it like a lizard?
Yeah. Yeah. He just goes back to pay him a visit.
Or it would have been I should know the name of that creature, but that like praying mantis creature
Oh,
from
that
Attack
thing's
of the
awesome.
Clones.
Yeah.
Coliseum.
Would you think there'd be more toys? You know what'd be awesome though? If the creature from Utapau goes to visit him on Tatooine and he goes, "Lizard? I don't remember ever owning a lizard."
Yeah, well, friend.
It's just like a heartbreak.
We've had many adventures.
I would love that though.
Imagine Obi-Wan, the whole show, the new show is just like, it's just what's his name? Ewan McGregor just doing the worst Alec Guinness like imitation ever.
Just
The worst. Oh, well, friend. It's like, why are you talking like that? You sound more like young John Lennon than anything else.
They dye his
You know what I
hair
mean?
like kind of white, but not fully.
Yeah, exactly.
And they dot his face and make him look like Alec Guinness. You're like, what's going on here? My number 3 is Boba Fett.
My number 3 is Boba Fett too,
Oh,
but
wow.
young Boba Fett.
Well, yeah.
Like, just don't make Boba Fett a big part of this. Just let Daniel Logan just be Boba Fett for like an episode, and you're like, yep, there he is.
Yeah, I would be down for that as well. Or then maybe you could see him like painting his armor green.
Yo, yeah, that would be cool. Cause like, why is it green? Why that choice?
Yeah. Because he kills Obi-Wan's green lizard on Utapau.
Oh, it writes itself.
Yeah, it's done. It's over.
Boom.
It's over. My number 2, Commander Cody. Not Commander Kathleen Kennedy. Commander Cody.
Who's fired?
Oh, check the board.
She's fired.
Totally.
My number 2 is going to be Ghost Padme.
Oh,
Like he's being haunted.
Whoa.
I think Ghost Satine would be good. I just don't know if they're gonna go that way, but like I feel like that would be cool. Natalie Portman has nothing to do with Obi-Wan to our knowledge, right?
No.
Or was that just a rumor? Or...
Nothing to do with it. To our
Okay,
knowledge.
cool. I can't remember.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so though.
Mm.
I can't see them letting that cat out of the bag yet. And my number 1, Brock, is probably the number 1 of number 1s. Watto.
Yeah. I don't even know why I didn't think of that.
If he's going to be on... Look, Dexter Jetson for sure. But if he's going to be on Tatooine, Watto's death scene to start the series.
I never should have sold those slaves.
Like Star Wars is because of his bad betting.
That's why they should make a what if for Star Wars. Like, what if Anakin never won the pod race and they all became slaves of Watto? Or like, what if he never left Tatooine?
I would love the one that I keep joking around about with Ben Quadinaros is what if Ben Quadinaros shipped in a pod race in a burst and he actually won the pod race? That's my favorite what if.
No, that would be perfect. He wins, not like Sebulba. Anakin loses. His ship does that thing and he never gets it fixed. And then they like stay in slavery with Watto, but then like the Jedi's like, screw this, and they get out of there. But then Anakin stays on the planet. Like, what would that be like? And like, how would his force powers like awaken? You know?
I feel like he would be completely dark early on, and he would be a threat in the galaxy because he wouldn't be half robot or 90% robotic. That'd be kind of a cool what if.
But here's the thing. Granted, it was Jake Lloyd being a child actor. He seemed pretty chill with living on Tatooine. He didn't like it, but he was like, he was like lighthearted, you know, like if like.
I think that was George Lucas's plan, why he wanted to have a child. But I think as he got older, right, he would start to see what it was and then start hating it. And then the dark side he would probably rip that like explosive device out of him, like with his bare hands.
I feel like he would like become like a bounty hunter or be part of like Jabba's like crew or something like that.
But he would probably he could take over Jabba because if he ever figured out the Force, and because it would be dark side of the Force, easier, quicker.
Man, that would be great. Like, just what if is exactly what Star Wars fans are dying, or at least the internet Star Wars fans, because they're like, it should be this and this. Like, here you go. Here's your story.
And the thing, the next thing with what if though is the Marvel one intrigues me because it's just fun. It's just having fun with everything, right? Being like,
absolutely, which it should be, but like,
oh yeah, you know what? Peggy Carter is Captain America. Why? Why not? Okay,
why not?
Cool. It's like someone's a zombie. I'm like, yeah, do it. Let's do it. Let's have fun with it.
They did that one Marvel game, I think it was on mobile, where it's like alternate realities, where it's like Steve Rogers becomes the Sorcerer Supreme, and like Iron Man and Iron Man characters are actually like Thor characters, but like I don't know anything about it. And then like Spider-Man and Moon Knight are like the same character. I don't know anything about that, but when you see like the Funko Pops where you're like, wow, it's like Captain America, but he's also Sorcerer Supreme. You're like, what? Stuff like that will always sell. It's like Elseworlds and DC were like, yeah, Batman's a zombie, and Superman crash landed in Russia. It's like, oh.
That's why I think, you throw in Michael Keaton in this Flash movie, and there's an extra couple $1 million right there. That's probably, I'll bet you that's $10 million at the box office, at least, just for Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Did you do number one yet?
I did. You didn't. My number one was Watto.
Qui-Gon.
Oh, I didn't even have Qui-Gon. How did I not have Qui-Gon? Brutal.
Ghost Qui-Gon. I just repurposed two.
He was on. Did you see him on Jimmy Kimmel last week or something?
Liam Neeson? No.
Yeah,
I don't watch any of those shows.
I don't either. I watch it on the social medias. No, not YouTube. It's like on Instagram. There'll be like a story, and there'll be and so I just have to watch like that one question that everybody talks about. And he said, "Are you in the Obi Wan Kenobi show?" And Liam Neeson says no. He's had no contact, but he actually kind of sounds like he's lying. And then Jimmy Kimmel's like, "You're such a good actor that even if you were, we wouldn't know." And I was like, "I don't know. It seems like he's lying." He's one character that would be great to come back. And he did the voice in Clone Wars also for Qui-Gon, and he was at he was in that celebration, but he did the phone in for it. So he seems it's Liam Neeson. It's like, here's a paycheck and he'll do it, So yeah, Qui-Gon. I can't believe he's not on my list. What a terrible list I had. I was more concerned with Watto. Well, let us know what your top fives are in the comments below.
Yeah. Boom. another episode over. 221. We're quickly approaching episode 227, where J.K. will make an appearance.
I think we gotta have that as the opening of our show.
J.K.
Next week.
Alrighty.
We gotta figure out when we're recording next week because I'm a little bit busy.
Oh.
I took Monday and Tuesday off because I'm gonna be old. I felt if I even have a sip of wine, I might be out for a week. So we'll see how it goes. I called my doctor for the first. I have a doctor now. I didn't have one for like 10 years, so I have this doctor. The doctor's like, "Well, you don't really need anything until you turn 40." And I just stayed quiet on the phone. She goes, "Oh." I was like,
You're good at math, are you?
Well, I've never met her ever, not once. She became my doctor 3 years ago. And they're like, "You have to go do your onboarding or whatever." And I said, "Nah." But that's how I found out my health card was expired. They call me and go, "You know your health card's out of date?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Your yellow, you had the red, the white one."
You still have the red and white one.
Yeah,
wow.
but I never got a letter in the mail saying they were taking it away. So she's like, "It's gone." I'm like, "What?" So I had to go and I got a new one. And then I just never called. I feel like once I go to a doctor, they're going to be like, "Oh, you're dying." Like, I'm really worried about that scenario. So I don't go. I'm not worried about it. I eat a lot of Pop-Tarts.
This is shocking news. Two men. I don't have a doctor either. Well, you have a doctor. I don't have a doctor. It's like two men that talk about Star Wars ad nauseum don't really take care of their health.
It's really... Yeah, but you're going to be married, and then you will have to have a doctor because you'll be forced to. That's why. For years, she's like, "Promise you go to the doctor." So I went to a walk-in clinic, and it was the worst experience of my life. I was like,
people are like, "You can just do walk-in clinics." I'm like, it's not.
No, I literally walked in. I'm like, "I have a problem." They're like, "No, you don't." I was like, "I think I'm sick." "No, you're not." I was like, "Okay, sure."
Yep.
You tell me. I'll go get what I'll prescribe myself. How about that? I'll do that. Anyway, this was my favorite podcast so far.
Yeah, the beauty of this is like it's recorded.
there was definitely when we do Hollow News, what everybody sees is cutaways, but I just record us straight. So normally it's just this while you're reading. I'm doing my top 5.
Yeah, no, that's the beauty of it.
But then you said you're gonna turn 40, and I think I rolled my eyes. I'm like, "Here we go." You see, like I'm like, "Oh God, here we go," and then I turn my mic on, and then the shock and awe. I'll send you a clip of the shock and awe if you can see
I
it.
watched it.
Well, thank you. That means the world to me. So thank you so much.
Yeah. I know.
You are my bestie, so it's great. I haven't seen you in like 7 years, so I can't wait. Can't wait to see you in person.
So I made a slideshow, and it was gonna pop up all your pictures.
Oh, that's what.
Well, legit, my monitor did start smoking, so I need another thing for it to work without like blocking everything out. So it will be there. And the pictures I chose, I'm like, wow, we haven't taken a picture together in a long time.
It's been a long
or we probably
time.
have, but we haven't posted it.
I honestly, the last picture we might have together, aside from when I moved, if we're even in one of them, it would be probably that picture at Solo on our birthday.
Yeah. Probably.
Which was
thanks to COVID, we haven't seen each other in person in a year and a half.
You came here for that one barbecue party thing.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And then literally no, Star Wars.
Oh yeah, sorry. Star Wars. That would have been the
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, soon. Hopefully I'll come down in July.
Hey, I'll be double vaxxed. I can go anywhere and lick anything.
I'm gonna drive down to where you are. Everyone's gonna be like, "Ah, what's happening?" Everyone's just licking.
Shooting the masks out like slingshots.
Yeah. Oh man, I got my first one and I survived it, which was great news. It was just 10 o'clock at night. I was like, "Oh, hey."
I'm getting my second one and then promptly going to work right after and then working 2 days after that. And I'm like, it's going to be interesting.
I know some people that had it. One person I know who got the second Pfizer, they felt it like 2 hours later, but the next day they were pretty good. So
Yep,
Everyone's
whatever.
different. You just don't know.
It'll be fine. All right.
You got it. All right, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Here's Brock.
I'm James.
This is the
Right.
Rebel Scum podcast. We're whatever.
Yeah.
The bottom line is he was always scum.
Rebel Scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.